Yo, what's up, Word Wrestling Live? Excuse me. Here it is, the 1 o'clock hour. We have another amazing coach and wrestling mind in our country. I saved him for after Coach Ryan because I really wanted the bigger name coming in at 1 o'clock. So we got Coach. Oh, wow. We got Coach Christian Flavin on here. He was a Georgia State champion, two-time high school All-American, University All-American in freestyle and greco. He is one of, if not the only, off-complex athlete for the Olympic Training Center. And he's the assistant coach at LifeView Women's Wrestling under the great Ashley Sword. So, Coach Christian Flavin, what's up, buddy? You prefer Christian or Chris?
Christian preferably, because Chris is kind of just mainstream, I guess. And Ashley would beat me up if I went by Chris.
Ah, okay. Christian it is. I just wanted to make sure. So, man, first of all, thanks so much for coming on, man. Every time I have somebody on, I hear your name. I hear who you are. I know the program. I've had Ashley on. I finally got a chance to reach out to you and say, hey, man, let's do it.
Hey, great week to have it. It's awesome. You know, everything's starting to open back up now. So I feel like my life's getting back to normal a little bit with Beat the Streets and everything else happening and the girls moving in. So getting close to normal now.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what was this summer like for you?
You know, we, like you had Ashley on and you had Vic on, and when we were in North Dakota getting ready for NAIAs, everything shut down. So this summer we actually came back and we just kind of said, okay, what can we do while we're not doing anything? And so we just started recruiting, and we initially were like, hey, we've got to get 10 this year. You know, we're a small school, got to have certain roster numbers, and then it turned into 22. So yeah, just
wow,
work.
Awesome. So you adjusted, just kind of went a different route, focused your energy on the recruiting instead of the summer off-season training.
Yeah.
when you weren't training Victoria, right?
Oh, when we could train Victoria, that was the real. We spent a lot of time on the phone and doing Zoom calls and watching video. You know, everybody was stuck in a standstill for a long time. And, you know, with Vic being up in Maryland and down in Georgia, it was a week by week. Hey, what can we do today? I don't know. Let's figure it out. So it was good. It was really good.
You guys, how is Georgia now? Are you starting to open back up? Are you open back up? Are the girls on campus now, or what's going on?
So Georgia really is one of the weird states that, you know, we didn't really shut down completely. Much more loose on the rules than most states. So been blessed in that category. The girls wise, we are on the quarter system. So we actually move in at the end of this month. So on the 28th, move into school. So it actually was great for us, gave us more time, kind of learn the lessons at other schools that have kind of failed at, and how to adjust and how to approach. And we've got some really good coaching friends throughout the country, and we've just been able to get ready for that. And so they get here in like 18 days or something like that, and I'm already losing my mind.
Excuse me, man. So my wife's probably downstairs like, why do you keep clearing your throat? It sounds terrible on those podcasts. Sorry, I got to clear my throat. Sorry, guys. Man, so you guys have a great program there. Talk about that. Talk about your wrestling program there, the culture, philosophy, mentality, how you're building that winning thing. You've got some great Florida girls I see that you've recruited and you got in the room there. How's it been going?
It's been really good. You know, when Ashley brought me, you know, she got hired and then brought me in. And essentially I knew nothing about women's wrestling, you know, and so it was really great to learn from her. So she was able to kind of show me the pitfalls where most people screw up in either recruiting or coaching women. And then, so I kind of took from that and then kind of went my own mad scientist route to find, you know, who we're looking for and what we're getting. But, you know, we've really, you know, invested in a lot of long-term relationships and making sure that we're talking to them when they're, that ninth grade year and the 10th grade year, and just kind of nurturing relationships instead of just that kind of one stop, hey, you're a senior, come wrestle for us stuff. So we started there. But I think one thing that me and Ashley have done really, really well in terms of recruiting wise is like, she's super good at relationships. I am terrible. Like, she can sit there and have like a 4-year relationships over text that I can't do. I don't have the capacity to do that. But the recruiting stuff has been great. Being able to learn from her in terms of what to look for and what not to look for. I think something that I see specifically in women, you got to kind of look at genetics a little bit and go, hey, I can teach you how to wrestle, but you're 6'2" and 240 and 3% body fat. Yeah, I'll teach you how to wrestle. That's not a problem. No, I think we've had a really fun time recruiting, really fun time developing the program. We took it over. There were 8 girls on the team, and I think 6 of them could wrestle when we got there. And then I think going into this year, we'll have 42 on the active roster.
Wow.
So it'll be a magnificently large team this year for sure.
Wow, I mean, that just talks to the growth of women's wrestling, huh? Especially NAIA. What's it like going from last year to this year and looking around and seeing all these new programs?
It's kind of one, I have 2 like huge feelings on it. It's like, one thing I'm like, dude, this is awesome. They're growing so quickly and everything, but I'm like, there's still only 300 girls. And so we're fighting over the same 300, 400 girls that are going to go into college. But it's been really fun. I've got to see a lot of good friends that were either the program got dropped and they were able to find a new position that was a better position in every way. Just unfortunately had to go through dropping a program and then adding a program and all these other different things. But no, it's been really fun to be kind of alongside the road as the women's wrestling, movement is kind of rushing uphill very quickly.
That's Coach Morris says he don't want that smoke.
Oh my goodness.
He also put great coach.
Is that Charlie Morris is a madman, and I love him to death. He is the eternal excitement. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's screaming at something, excited about the world.
I feel like everybody knows who he is. Every time I have someone on, they notice the MF behind my shoulder, and they're like yesterday I had a young man on that wrestles at Lake Highland Prep, and I did like a Sunday thing. He asked to come on. I was like, sure, no problem. And the first thing he said to me was, is that a Morris Fitness logo back there? I love that guy. I wrestled for him for a while. And I had Tom Ryan just on. He was like, hey, Morris Fitness. I used to do clubs with him. So
Charlie is unforgettable. He won't let you forget him. That's the other part to it. Like, he is burned in your brain positively in every way.
I like it. If I could I want to put like David Morgan from Wrestling U, Chuck Morris, Eric Floyd, Mindset Mike, and Kraus all in one room. And I want to see if the walls can handle it.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I want to see them all do like a 24-hour lock-in all together as one big group. I want to see how many kids make it to the end.
Oh my gosh. I would just love to see them sit around a table and discuss technique for 3 hours and watch how far and not far they get at the same time. Like,
yeah, because they're just amazing to talk to, and then the energy they bring is incredible. So yeah, I'd like to see those 5 or 6 guys in one room do one clinic. I think, man, kids are gonna be, I don't know if they're gonna make it through.
Make it through introductions and you'll be okay.
Yeah. So your coaching staff, obviously, Chuck Moore's like done. What's it like? I'm sure you've known Ashley for a while. She probably just didn't like pick your name out of a hat. So you probably had a long time friendship with her. She brought you in to be part of the coaching staff. A lot, I'm sure, with your Greco background, that's got to be a big thing for the women learning upper body stuff. But what's it been like being on the coaching staff with her, kind of picking her brain, seeing what she does? Because, I mean, I believe you two coach Victoria as well, right? Which is number what's Frances, 1 or 2 right now at her weight class, right?
I think she's at 72. She's 1. At 68, she's 3. We lost to what's her name? I keep forgetting. Everything's going nuts. She's 3rd. She's behind Mensa and Forrest. And so at 68 for the Olympic weight. But coaching with Ashley is great. It's again, like we're talking about, just different sides of the relationship that I typically in coaching men wouldn't really nurture and put more emphasis on. She does. I think the other side to it is Ashley is kind of the way that she coaches her women is the same way she coaches the men. And it just magnifies the relationship. It creates that stronger bondage. I think for both of us, our whole goal is to be, like when we're in the corner, we want our athlete to try to be a point better, whether it's the confidence or whether it's the one thing that we can, help with during a match or whatever that looks like. But coaching with them is interesting. Ashley and Vic, as you know, are pretty A personalities. They'll beat you with your own foot if you let them. But no, it's really interesting. Coaching Vic's just a wonderful blessing, being able to come in and my first 3 or 4 years in women's wrestling, get to corner her and get to know her, and the relationship has really just flourished. And I'm at her house right now, so we're getting ready for beat. So
is that her house?
Yeah, this is Vic's house. I'm up in the bonus room right now.
Oh, so that when you said Ashley's downstairs training, she's actually training Vic right now.
Yeah, there's a Vic set up a whole like weight room in her living room because couldn't go to the gym. We're in Maryland, and so she's like, oh, I'll just build it, and so now they're downstairs lifting. So
nice.
Time.
Pretty cool stuff. Yeah. What do you think about her upcoming match?
I think so we wrestled Glaude at the Open this past year. I think Glaude shows, she's got some explosiveness to her. Her height and the way that she wrestles, she kind of makes you chase her a little bit. Presents some problems. I think the last time they wrestled, we did a lot better with the chasing. But I also, to be just up front, that was the first time Vic had wrestled at 68 kilos in a long time, if ever. And so getting used to the weight was another thing. I think this match will be a little bit more explosive. I think they're not doing the 68, scratch weight. So they're doing a little catch weight. I don't remember what it was, but they're actually going to get to wrestle and feel pretty good about it. So hopefully, it'll come together. And, I love Glaude. She's awesome, but I kind of like Vic better. So
yeah, you think?
I think I like her a little bit better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it was an honor to have Vic on. It was really cool to meet her. She was awesome. Does she know you're on with me?
Yeah, they're down. They were giving me like the run through downstairs. They're like, okay, don't cuss, don't say anything stupid. I'm like, oh crap.
Oh man, I think I cussed with both of them.
They'll definitely do that for sure. Like, just Christian, you don't better sing nothing. I'm like, okay, fine.
I'm sorry. That's awesome. Yeah, so I'm guessing, obviously, like you said, you're getting her ready right now. When is that match?
So it is after like the telethon event on Thursday. Somewhere in New York. They haven't told us yet. They're keeping everything on the hush hush. So
it's the BTS one, right?
Yeah, the Beat the Streets event. Yeah.
That's already this Thursday?
That's this Thursday, prime time. It's gonna be great.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What live feed is it on?
I think it's on Flow. I believe it's on Flow. So it'll be like the whole. I think they're having a bunch of people come onto the telethon, and then they're doing. Then they're gonna have those matches after, which some of those matches are insane. I'm just excited to be able to watch them, hopefully live.
What I thought was really cool was that Wrestling Underground.
Yeah, that was great.
That was pretty neat, seeing them wrestle in a cage like that.
Yeah, for sure. Chael Sonnen put that together. That was cool. I loved watching Ben Provisor and The Greco match was amazing. Just bombs all over the place, and I loved it.
The Shakur match was good too.
Oh yeah.
Bill, what was it? Bill or Bob came back and got him, but it was just neat how that whole thing was done. I thought it was pretty cool, and I don't care who's putting on a wrestling match. Nobody's got the personality of Sonnen, right? I mean, he just brings it. Obviously, you guys are on the run for Victoria right now, so a lot of your focus is on that Olympic run and getting her ready. But talk about this year's recruiting class. I know that recruiting has been a huge focus because it's really all you can do is recruit this summer. Your recruiting budget must be pretty low because you couldn't fly or feed or show or any of that stuff, right? Just Zoom.
It was definitely an interesting recruiting class. I think as soon as like everything started shutting down, so Fargo, everything was shut down, the ladies started to sign like immediately, like big names overnight. Went from I'm not going to sign until after these tournaments because they're trying to go earn a little extra money or get recruited by the team they wanted to go to, and then all of a sudden everything shut down, and they're like, the money's not going to be there next week. I better start signing. Recruiting this summer was really fun. I think it was the first time me and Ashley had been able to look at our roster and evaluate what we need, what we're losing. The time off kind of let me sit down and view what the long term looks like. As we look toward not only this year's recruiting class, but the year after that and the year after that. So I got to do some long-term stuff, get Ashley to start some relationships because I'm not messaging a 15-year-old little girl. But no, we had an amazing recruiting class. I think we got a lot of it started early. Me and her are pretty positive that we like to get like that early junior year, junior summer, we're already in their head about signing. We're already in their head about, hey, let's just not even worry about the process of freaking out your senior year. That way you can plan your whole year and just enjoy it. Know the scholarship's going to be there. Because we do a lot of recruiting on the wrestling, but also on future ability, but also, hey, you got a great personality and we just want to hang out with you. So we had Katie Moore signed as a junior coming out of New York. Riley Dalrymple ended up signing. Olivia Motley, Angelina Prado. There's so many. We had 22 sign.
Wow. It was how many Florida girls you have in the room?
Let's see. Oh man, I can't even keep count some days. I know we got Jackie Font this year. Catalina Bartelt's coming up. Stephanie Villalobos, who I think you had on the other day, is coming. Yeah. So Stephanie Villalobos will be here.
I had her twin brother on too. He was pretty cool.
He's a fun kid. I actually got to him and his sister came up on a visit, and I got to wrestle around with him a little bit. His little Greco throws are hilarious. Love it. I'm glad he's at Wyoming though. That's a really fun spot to be growing as you're a wrestler. I'm
sure Omi would have loved to have him.
Omi wanted him big time, but he, kid's pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, recruiting was great. I think we had to get really creative with, sending out information and how we presented it so they could see the campus and they could see what me and Ashley were about, because again, super relational coaches. So it's really hard for us to kind of throw a dollar sign at you if we've never really gotten to talk to you or put your hands on you. So it was interesting. It was really interesting.
I have an Ashley Sword sighting. She says, Million Garrett from Florida.
Sorry, Million. Yeah. Downstairs critiquing me. There'll be a list when I get down.
They're making sure. I apologize if I curse. I will not curse on any LifeU women's interviews. I promise.
I had to sign that before I got on, so it was fine.
You had to sign the petition, or not the contract?
Yeah, the contract for sure.
That's good. Oh. She put her little thing like this. Hey, aren't you supposed to be putting Vic through reps right now?
I'll make her come up here. She'll yell at me. But yeah, the recruiting this year was awesome. We love it. I actually am really excited about this team. We had some athletes sign that were kind of like not random, but it was very much like, hey, I've got a really good girl at your weight. I can't give you, but they were like, that's the team I need to be on. you're the person, and you and Ashley are the people I want to be coached by. And so we were like, sweet, let's do it. And they,
What area you're in too? I mean, just right out of work, right in Atlanta, right? I mean, just right there.
yeah, we're right there. So, I mean, we're 30 minutes from the airport on the north side. You know, we're 18 miles from downtown Atlanta. It's, I mean, you see the skyline if you're on the right hill. So
What's going on there at the baseball field? Oh, she's eating. We're Gucci. I love it. Uh, hey, I'll be watching you guys Thursday night. I hope she kicks butt. What goes on at the baseball stadium now? I know you can't get into the baseball stadium, but I see Cole all the time posting like
stuff at the Battery.
tables outside, and they've got. So what do they do? Do they put the game up on the big screen and you can be outside watching the game? Or
yeah, there's a big screen they've had out there since the Battery opened. There's like a little dog park area, so dogs could walk on this AstroTurf and not burn their feet. And people just hang out there. There's a bunch of bars right there. There's a bunch of restaurants, and they just hang out outside and watch the game from, you know, just out, like literally the gate is connected to that little park.
it looks great. I was able to get to Turner Field the last year it was open, so I'm glad that I got to do that. And the stadium was great. Coming outside of the stadium, you thought you were going to die, but being inside the stadium, you felt safe. But
For sure.
it wasn't a great area, so to get an Uber, you had to stay in the lights. But I see Cole always posting all the being down in Atlanta and doing that, and I keep hitting him up. I'm like, man, the stadium's open. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool area. I mean, we're only 5 miles from the Braves Stadium, and so you know, we get to go down and hang out. And again, Georgia's a little bit more open than almost any other state, so it's a good time to actually get to be around people again.
That's cool. So, you know, you're coaching under a legend right now, Ashley Sword, and you came from a legend in Coach Reagan. I mean, coaching at Woodward, I mean, a national powerhouse. You know, talk about coaching for Reagan, being around Reagan, the things that he taught you.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been really, really lucky to coach with people that complemented my personality a lot. That, you know, because I'm not really one that I'm not good at talking to people, especially in the, you know, like go and talk to my boss or Jeff's boss or Ashley's boss. I'm just like, just leave me in the wrestling room by myself with everybody else and I'll be fine. You know, but I think I was able to complement their wrestling in the same way that they complimented me as well. You know, Jeff is 125 pounds and he's full grown, you know, like that was his, even when he wrestles, he was 118 pounds. So, I mean, he's stayed in good shape. He's still around that weight, you know, and to come in and give him the compliment of being a big guy and help that program, you know, whether it was with ties or whether it was just different ways of attacking stuff, you know, it was really, you know, it was a good relationship there. I mean, me and him, so schoolboy, like 5-6 years ago, I don't even know how long it was now. Those guys are going to college. You know, won that national title. It was Georgia's first national title. And it was all off of just super basic Greco. It was just silly basic Greco. And, you know, and so me and him were able to complement a lot on the national styles. And coming to Ashley, you know, we were, again, just complimenting of, you know, I think me and I learned a lot of wrestling being hurt and being where I was at. You know, I got to wrestle at Nebraska Kearney in college, and then did some time at UTC, and then moved out of the training center and was able to learn a lot of wrestling just through watching. And so I got to see guys like, you know, when Kyle Snyder was 17, 18 years old doing his gap year at the training center, I was watching him and Kilgore and Reeder wrestle every day, and watching Brandon Slay modify and fix every little thing. Got to learn from them a lot. Got to learn from Muhammad, who's the Greco coach, who's still a good friend of ours. You know, me and Ashley knew him when he was training, and I knew him as a coach. And so I've been able to just kind of compliment Jeff and Ashley technically. You know, I think one thing I did pick up from Jeff is I needed to systemize my wrestling a little bit better, make it a little bit more deliverable. That way I could have different just different ways to keep them all on the same plateau or that same standard, that same level. And that way we weren't, I wasn't all over the place, because I tend to go down the rabbit hole and start thinking about like every possible permutation of a move. And then Ashley slaps me and goes, "Hey, speak Elmo to these kids. They don't understand what you're talking about." So
was Coach Reagan able to get any of his camps in this year? I know
think
when I talked to him, he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to or not.
Yeah, recently I've seen a couple of his camps are popping up for sure. But some of them have to have the mask on, some of them don't. But he's been able to kind of toward the latter part of this year nail in some of those camps on the East Coast. But the ones that were moving a little bit to the West, he wasn't able to really sneak in, as far as I can see.
That's awesome. How important do you think it is to bring Greco into the college women's room and teaching them? And then do you think we'll ever see it sanctioned for the girls at a world level?
So Ashley, last year she made the beach world team, went over to guitar. I mean, that all that is beach Greco with a little bit of judo kick in there. And she, I think what they're trying to do is kind of do the way that the beach volleyball went. So a while ago, when they didn't have beach volleyball, they added it, and volleyball in itself just raised. So they're hoping that beach wrestling for the women will kind of add that in. So it's kind of Greco, but not really. So I think they voted for beach instead of Greco, but we'll see. I hope it happens, because bring it. That'd be fun.
So we should see beach wrestling in the Olympics
in 2024.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's going to be
what
that's going to do for women's wrestling.
Oh yeah, it's all of Life University is going to be that first whole team. I've already got it planned out 4 years down the road. Like
are they going to have the men's too?
I think just women.
Wow, that's going to be awesome for women.
It's huge. It's huge for our females. It's going to be massive.
You mean you're telling me I can wrestle and be at the beach? I mean, how awesome is that if I'm a girl? Like,
it's wonderful.
Well, a guy too, right? I love the beach, and but I think look at that. Cosign most likely 2024 beach for women. No men beach.
Yeah.
That's okay. Women's volleyball I watch more than men's volleyball anyway on the beach. I'm sure I'll watch women's wrestling. That's really cool. I think that'll be great, because now, man, how many more little girls will get to see women on the world level and be like, wow, now I have an Olympic dream. Now I can do that. Not only can I be a freestyle wrestler, but I can also go do this and still have an opportunity. And that's awesome.
Sure. I think there's going to be a bigger crossover in the judo world into the wrestling now, because beach is more of a single takedown or fall down type situation. So the judo come into play a little bit more. And it is. And I think the other thing that I do like about it is they have a unlimited weight class, because 76 kilos for women, though a very healthy weight, is still only 167, and I got a couple heavyweights on my team. They're like, "Coach, I'm 200 pounds, but I don't like it. They look good at 200 pounds. Like they can do work at 200 pounds. I think it'll give them another a hope and an aspiration to go, hey, I can go all the way through my college career, who wrestled 191 and 170, and then make that transition. And then there's a lot of states that have that 215, 225 pound weight class, and it gives them another route to make it to that world level. So that's great. Greco and women's wrestling is like the most important thing I could bring to life. You'll see a lot of women's wrestlers have come in and it's kind of like, hey, we're going to show you a lat drop and a headlock and then hope it works out for you. And so teaching them how to tie, teaching them how to push, how to pull, just simple modifications that you learn through 15 years of wrestling with guys that are just elbow position and pushing and pulling and kind of the rules behind it, but they're not rules. It's all the little things. And so I was able to, for Greco wise, to bring that to women was huge. And I was actually, coaches were asking me, hey, who would you recommend coming in to coach them? I said, find the guys that are wrestling Greco that are like 5 or 6 on the ladder. that are not getting paid, that are trying to find a place to go home, because these big schools aren't looking for a Greco guy to come out. They're looking for Yanni. But you bring in somebody that's like the Hope brothers or somebody like that out of, they're originally out of Illinois. I think one lives in California and Chicago now. I'm not sure. But the Hope brothers, or there's a bunch of guys that have been wrestling Greco for a really long time that are super, super good wrestlers, but that could come in and make a big impact on the women's world. So Greco is super, super valuable, extremely.
Oh, you have Terry Styles there in Georgia, right? He's a big Greco guy.
Well, big little Terry, yeah.
Big little Terry.
I like busting Terry's chops. He's
awesome.
Dude, I'll tell you now, Terry has a group of friends. I hope I'm in their group of friends. Like me, Terry, Peter, and a bunch of guys in Atlanta. Terry has done probably the most impactful thing for Georgia this year in having all those Terry style camps at Level Up with Donovan Pannone, who is, by the way, that club is incredible. I went in there last week and there was 2 world team members, 4 or 5 college national champions, 3 or 4 college All-Americans, and like 17 kids that were ranked top 10 in the country. And it was just a Wednesday. Like it wasn't even like some Saturday super practice. It was just Wednesday afternoon at 5:30.
At Level Up?
At Level Up. And Donovan Pannone up there, I'm telling you.
Hey, hook a brother up. Send me his number.
I will. That guy right there is doing something right, and it's pretty much everything.
Yeah, and let's get. I know I always message Ashley, but she's like, maybe I'll send you some more girls. I'm kind of worried where we might go from there, but get Donovan on the show. All right, I'm gonna try. Send me his information. But yeah, send me some more Life U girls. Ashley, send me some more Life U girls. All right, you ready for the 10 questions?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, Blue Ridge or Savannah?
Blue Ridge, every day of the week.
The Heirloom Market or Community Q?
Heirloom.
Zoo Atlanta or Georgia Aquarium?
Aquarium, every day of the week.
Ashley said media training first.
Seriously, media training for the girls is huge. They're so used to TikTok and Twitter, they have no idea what to do. Holy crap.
Grindhouse or Lucky Burgers?
Oh, man. Lucky because I can bring my dog.
I know you're a Georgia homegrown kid, so Falcons or Braves?
Both.
Both. Hey, there's no rules to this, so.
They're not competing against each other.
Yeah. Tacos La Viva or El Huarache?
Oh, Tacos La Vida is the best.
World of Coca-Cola or College Football Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame.
With the Coca-Cola?
Oh, probably, for sure.
Blue Moon or MOB?
Blue Moon.
I mean, MOD pizza, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure, Blue Moon.
Skyview Atlanta or Skyline Park?
Ooh. Skyline.
I stole Community Q's mac and cheese recipe. Your mom is going to murder you.
Oh my gosh.
Rio or Stony River Steakhouse?
Ooh, Stony River.
Oh, because you picked Heirloom Market?
Yeah, I don't want to die later. Thanks for my death.
I didn't know. Are they involved in that or something?
No, they're just, my whole family is a bunch of foodies. And so they're all like, what can we eat today? I'm like, let's just go to the Mexican restaurant. It's easier. I know they got tacos there.
Your mom is going to murder you. That's been great. Ashley, thanks for letting me have your assistant coach on. Hey, Christian, man, this has been fun, man. Keep doing big things. And I'm so happy that the women's, he didn't pick them. He didn't pick Coke. No, he picked the College Football Hall of Fame.
That's only because my mom works at Chick-fil-A and Chick-fil-A made that.
Oh,
So
oh, it's great. Well, hey, I'm glad to see the girls growing. I'm glad to see women's wrestling growing. I'm glad to hear about the beach greco and things like that that's happening. And I'm really glad to meet you. I hear your name all the time, and I finally sat down. People, you probably saw the question where I always ask, "Hey, who would you recommend on the show?" So I finally sat down Sunday and I went back like 45 days and wrote down everybody somebody recommended, and your name came up several times. So I was like, I better reach out to him.
I'm just the assistant to everybody. So it's
Yeah.
I always get the phone call. So it's like, hey, will you come up and do this? Sure, why not? I got nothing else to do.
Yeah, well, it's awesome, man. Well, I hope I get a chance to meet you one day in person, you and Ashley and the crew up at LifeView, Cole and Omi and everybody. And I appreciate all the support LifeView has given me throughout
Hey,
this process.
come up whenever. We'll take you out of the battery. Have a good time. Oh, by the way, I found Life's logo.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
It's above North Central's.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. There it is. Lucha. Damn. I see that there's a women's logo now too. I used it for your thing. It says women's wrestling. So maybe I'll have to throw that up there for you guys.
Sweet. Awesome. It was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, man, I do appreciate it. It's always an honor to have someone on my show, and anybody. You know, thanks for coming on after Coach Ryan and really stepping up the game of my show.
I'm trying to live up to Coach Ryan.
Yeah, well, I told you that's why I had you second. I really wanted an encore.
Had to make him look better. It's great.
Yeah. All right, Coach, man, keep doing it big, and let's get Vic to the top of that podium.
For sure.